My name is Kevin Langdon. I'm an entrepreneur who's been living here in central Pennsylvania for about 5 years now. 2 years ago, Brian Monin and Gotti Mott, Brian's out in Seattle and Gotti's in San Francisco. We got together and started talking about a problem that we were seeing in our own families. And that was our kids, to be frank, we call it butt sitting. Our kids, a constant fight with our kids to control their screen time and their addiction to technology. The technology that us as entrepreneurs were actually creating. And we looked out beyond our family and saw that this is an increasing problem everywhere. This graph actually shows the decrease over the last 10 years in kids' participation in organized athletics. And it's bigger than kids too, it's kids and adults. Some other studies have shown that since 1965, there's already been a 30% decrease in physical activity. And that's going to continue to projections by 2030 that are around 50% decrease in physical activity. So we created Play Impossible, and our goal was to solve that problem. And when we started looking at it, we don't think the technology is going anywhere. We actually think the technology, especially when you look at more immersive technologies like virtual reality, is only going to make it harder to do physical activity. But we wanted to find a solution that would take technology and split that gap between physical play and technology, and take the good things about physical, traditional play that are the social, the physical, and the creative aspects, and pull them into the casual gaming that's happening now with everybody. So our first product is called the Game Ball, and I have samples here. The Game Ball is a multi-sport ball that contains technology and electronics inside of it that allow it to connect to iPhones, Androids, and other devices, Apple TVs, Fire TVs, anything we can get to work with this, to allow kids to get up off their butts and engage in traditional play. I'm going to show a quick video to demonstrate this. Okay.
There's actually an app.
Toss it up. That'll change things.
Double tap it.
Toss until you reach 20 feet in 20 seconds. 12 feet to go. 9 feet to go.
Little screen time.
Hold the ball to start the game. VL2 is crushing it. VL2 wins round 1.
Match the two dots.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's there!
So the Game Ball is out now. We launched about 2 months ago after a lot of hard work to get this thing to work. It's on Target and at 100 Target stores. It's on Amazon.com and available also on PlayImpossible.com. How am I on time?
2 minutes.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've definitely crunched a lot down into longer presentation into a shorter one, but I think that I was going to show a demo, but I can't get my iPhone to connect, so I'll have to maybe show some demos afterwards, but maybe I'll just go straight into the question now.
Brian,
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, your charging device is awesome. Can you explain a little bit more about that? I mean,
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts, I think.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. My son and my niece were playing with that the other day, and they had more fun playing with that one,
With
then
the charger. Yeah, that's one thing I definitely can show. So yeah, the charger, the ball comes with a charger. This is one of the things that we've patented as part of this ball. And the balls actually charge in 20 seconds. So that was the piece that we got a patent on, is how to build a technology that would, create.
Game ball VOV connected.
Can you make one of those for my iPhone, please?
We get that a lot, and we are. I mean, I don't know that the technology works for that application, but we do think there's a wide, outside of just connected toys, there's a wide variety of things that can utilize that charging technology. And we're excited about someday.
You would make my 16-year-old daughter super happy. She would kiss you. Because like she's walking around with her charger and her stupid external charger, like there's like wires wrapped around her and stuff like that. It's like if you could get something like that, oh my god, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the audience type hat on, and could I feel that?
Yeah. You're connected actually right now. So I'll just.
Catch the game ball softly.
So this game actually turns the ball into a water balloon. How do you feel about catching it?
Say that again?
How do you feel about catching it?
I think I can.
All right, so this is a water. This turns it into a water balloon. So you kind of, when you catch it, you catch it real soft.
1017 milliseconds.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
678.
Okay, I was thinking, okay, this is a grandson and I might be buying it. So, I saw them in the house. So to show that, what happens in the house with, I don't know, are you gonna have indoor versions?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. When we started doing play testing and beta testing, there's a lot of different house rules out there, right? Oh, so
Your longest toss is 1017 milliseconds.
we
That's a
definitely
new
think
high
this is an
score.
indoor ball. And so, but we do change the games for indoor, right? So for example, here, let me show you. We have
578
we're working on
milliseconds.
some new games that will work on a TV, so they're really built for inside the living room. And then we'll focus less on the throwing, and we'll do more. More activities where you would do, for example, just
Shape the game ball to gain
So it's still more
1250
physical
points in
than
12
you get off of
seconds.
a traditional gaming console.
3, 2,
But yeah,
1,
more
go.
focused on the indoor, not breaking any lamps and things like that. So this game actually is just shaping, so it just gets a kid up and how hard can you shape inside of 30 seconds. Those are examples of what we do indoor. Yeah.
3 stars. Preparing next challenge.
Sorry.
Toss the game ball up exactly 4 feet.
Not all of it, most of the manufacturing is in the Dominican Republic. Interestingly, there's only one ball factory left in the United States, and they make NFL footballs for like $500 a pop. The rest of the manufacturing is moved to China and the Dominican Republic.
Is that where your the circuitry is made in Dominican Republic as well, or is that?
It is, yeah. So we could have gone a lot of places with that.
Sure.
Those contract manufacturers are pretty easy to just move between. But yeah, for efficiency reasons, we're actually doing it all in the Dominican Republic in factories that are right next to each other.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
So Kevin, I was
Yeah.
thinking in your application, you talk a little bit about how to keep people using the ball over long term.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed in your application on there, have you thoughts about that or specific questions? What have you been thinking about?
I think in the application it asks, what's the problem that your biggest problem, and ours is, as a company grows and hits different phases, it definitely shows. And we have a lot of hurdles to get to market. And now that we are on the market, that's the problem that keeps me up at night, and the one that I think about a lot is, how do we go from being the big hit on Christmas morning to being the hit in February, and people keep pulling it out. So we think about that a lot. One advantage to being a digital toy is that you can make it novel again. You can make it new again. So similar to that Christmas morning experience, I can launch new games on a monthly basis. I can launch new features and ways to make this ball better down the road, where I can say, hey, pull it back out because we just added this new game that lets you do this. That's one way. Yeah, go ahead.
From the video, I got the sense that can you sync it or with someone else that's not in the room with you to challenge them like I play virtually?
Yeah, no, remote gameplay. Yeah, no, we don't do that today. It's definitely something we've worked on and probably will do. Because of our target audience, there's a lot of regulatory, like with COPA. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there's a lot of work that we have to do to make sure that we're not in violation of privacy laws for kids. They're very strict under 13-year-old kids. So that makes remote play harder, but we're definitely working on it. Yeah.
Are you targeting a certain age group of kids?
A pretty big one. I mean, we say 5 to 18. When we focus on marketing, it's definitely probably a little more narrow. But on the game development side, the product development side, which is what I'm primarily focused on, it's a big group of 5 to 18. So when we do play testing, we get everybody inside that range and test with them and make sure that they can do the things that we're asking them to do.
What about a college drinking game?
Those kind of after dark games definitely happen. They're not something we're marketing towards or pushing. Right? Yeah, I mean there's a few game balls over here about now, and the usage data is definitely very late at night on them.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences with Amazon? And like I remember you were saying about how weird it is to ship them to all these different distribution centers. Like they force you to send them to instead of you shipping them to one place. Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
For all three of us as co-founders, I mean, Gatti a little bit less, but the hardware and distribution was a new thing, so we had to learn a lot, how to work with Target, how to work with Amazon, and the problem Mike's talking specifically, going into this, I had this naive idea that when you did a purchase order to Amazon, that you would basically just ship 1,000 units to Seattle, and that was it. But it's not. It's like they tell you to ship 2 units to 1,000 or 500 different places, and you have to manage all that. So there's some distribution falls on your shoulders too. It's something you have to tackle.
It seemed like one of the things we're trying to solve was the sedentary addictive behavior, but from a usage and repetitive usage, it doesn't seem like the addictive part of it is so much the concern, or maybe not the addictive, but the stickiness and repeat use, so whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And as long as people are active, it seems like from the company's perspective, that's a positive, right? So the negative is the sitting, positive is
the addiction is not. I mean, being addicted to good. You can be addicted to biking, soccer. We as a company, we definitely believe being addicted can be a good thing.
Have you done much with the watch? I guess that's kind of where I was headed, doing stuff with Apple Watch to constantly remind people not just that you need to take steps, but go take a walk with your ball.
We've done a little prototyping on the watch, and we'll definitely go there eventually.
Because the interface looked like it would just stay on a watch. We think of ourselves as a console-less gaming platform, which is kind of a new concept, right? But in doing that, we work with any console or any other kind of technology platform out there that might be watches. It could be traditional consoles too, like the Nintendo or the Xbox. So we see ourselves working across all of those things. Can you put this ball in another? If I were a developer, do I need to use your app, or can I interface with your ball in my game?
Long term, you'll be able to interface it in your game. So we will definitely open a third-party API at some point. We're focused now on making the market so that developers are interested in using that. But yeah, we will definitely do that.
and let people build new whether they're big tier game firms or small, like letting them build those.
Yeah, the competitive cornhole possibility is there.
Yeah.
Ever present. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So could you envision like gym classes being redefined and including technology? Like, is there a market to sell these to schools or charter schools or schools that think outside? I know, like in Florida, there's an IAG Academy that really recruits kids that need to be physical, that can't sit for 8 hours a day at a desk.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there a market there to an institution as opposed to just a home? Do you think? Or-
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing that. Like, so
Yeah.
we've been on the market a little bit here now. We're already seeing feedback come in. Whether it's through reviews, like on Amazon. I think there's actually an Amazon review now that talks about the movement piece. So there's somebody that talks about just using it as a reward in the classroom, which is something I had. Like, so I think the teacher just keeps it up in the front, and then good behavior is rewarded at the time to play with it. But yeah, we're seeing sales to gym classes and to classroom teachers too. So there's definitely a market there. Not something that we're intentionally going after right now just because of our limited resources, but definitely long term there's a market there.
Well, I'm thinking as a matter of expanding business, you can put this technology in practice footballs, that will calculate the speed and time in the air and all sorts of things that kids practicing, quarterbacks practicing, tosses could download to see information from the ball saying, okay, this ball was thrown at this velocity, spend that much time in the air, and you can use it as actually a legitimate practice tool.
Yep. Yeah, and that's another
Not just as a game, but as a
Skill development.
And we call that market kind of competitive sports. So this
Correct,
educational side, the competitive sports side. Another big one that we get a lot is therapy. Is a big market for us. And then the biggest, and this goes across like our interests and our passion, but also if you look at the market sizes of those, the biggest is that gaming industry and the fun and the entertainment side, which is what we're focusing on first. And then we will go to all those other silos too.
Because that will give you an ongoing need, not
Yeah.
just Christmas,
Yeah, and the only thing that's interesting about the competitive sports market is it's surprising how small it is when you go out and run the numbers. It was surprisingly small when I started looking into it. In comparison to some of those others, even education, but it's actually probably the smallest of those groups.
If you add on new games now, is you buy the ball and then are the games added on? It's a perk of buying the ball, or do you charge for those games over time?
They're free. All the games are free right now, and we've continued to roll out new games and made them free. I think at some point we might explore some other types of in-app revenue.
Just the thought that came to my mind is you go from this size ball and now maybe you offer something that's more of a kickball size.
Yep.
and changing shapes and things.
Yep. No. Yeah. We've taken the technology and these aren't on the market, but we put it in. We worked with Bucknell to put it in a disc. So even leaving the ball. So we've done the same thing in a disc. We've done the same thing in basketball and football and even in baseball. So like gone from smaller size on up to bigger sizes as well. And so we know it works. We know it's durable enough. We're picking and choosing those strategically, which pieces we do at which time, with a team of very limited resources. So we can't do everything.
Because I'm thinking if you have like a little bracelet that would identify, players, you can map the whole game. The ball was thrown to this person, and exactly how fast it got there.
There's sort of like a GPS tracking for where the ball travels to and who got it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can it help spin? I was thinking tennis.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can add complexity, and it can all go in a little.
Sport Labs keeps your last 30
I'm just
tosses.
gonna strip it quick. This is just that'll you kind of throw.
4.7 feet.
so I can see my
Spin.
RPMs, and try to throw, you know, a knuckle.
303 rotations per minute.
Correct. So it already has that technology built in.
Yes, yeah, it's all there.
So it's already there.
Yeah.
As we're hearing today, the possibilities are unlimited for your company. So I'm curious, how are you going to balance being future-oriented and yet staying present? I mean, not having too much focus on the future so that you can stay present and not miss doing the right things.
Yep.
Or seeing the right things today.
No, it's a very real problem and one that we acknowledge. And I mean, the simple answer is we have to say no a lot. And you hear me saying that a little bit here, like, yeah, the competitive sports is great, education is great, but no, not right now. And that's because, like, if I had a giant team and more capital available, maybe, but right now I have to say no because I have to do this really, really well. And someday I'll put it in my backlog. You know,
At what point did you guys feel like you're really onto something, like during the development?
Oh, it was really early on. I mean, I mean, you know, it's different pieces, but like I built the first prototype, you know, at my home. So, you know, it was just the first time I got it working and playing with my kids. And that first prototype didn't have all the physics engine built yet. So like, it was fun. Like, I think the first time it clicked for me was when I built the physics engine that detected like when a ball was in the air. And that allowed, all that was a ball that when my son threw it, it had a cool sound to it. And that was enough for him. Like, that was enough for him to play for hours, to be like, hey, when I throw this, it sounds like a missile. And what I knew I could do beyond that, to say like, well, that's enough. Like, he already loves it, to know, like, I know there's a lot more possibilities. So that was definitely a first step. And then I think another moment was, we then took that prototype, we went out and met with some investors, VC level investors. And there was a moment in that meeting, you know, so this is very, very early on, just not even, it wasn't a real pitch, it was just, hey, this is what we're playing with, you know, with some feedback on this. But there was a moment when these guys, you know, financial guys started taking their suit jackets off and started playing with it in real gameplay and laughing, and I was like, this is awesome.
The only thing you said is say about no's, you know, but
yeah.
Your patent only protects the charging mechanism, not the actual.
No, we do. We actually have 5 patents now. So the charging is just one of those.
Oh, okay.
So we have patents on. We even have patent on the ball as a human-computer interface. So there's some pretty broad ones that we have to.
To wrap up, Kevin, the last question is always, what can we do for you?
I mean, so first, help us, like, you know, as a limited resources team, like, one of the hard parts is marketing for us, especially when we're creating a new category like this. So the first thing is just get the word out, you know, tell people about it. Buy one on Amazon, show it to your family, because it is just a process for us to slowly get that word out. The second, focused on this geographical area and this community. Probably the biggest thing for me is helping get talent here. I mean, the reality is, for me working on this, the people that I need to help and to join my team aren't here. That's just the reality of it. That are here in very short supply. So I need help to recruit those people to come with me.
What talent are you talking
about? Electrical engineering, software development. So the product development side of things, and even industrial design, some, you know, chemical engineering, things like that. So we're building that team here in Lewisburg, and it's a process to find those people. The hardest part for us has been finding those people. If they're in the right point in their life, it's not hard to convince them to move here. We've done that a couple times already, but the hard part's been finding them.
Are there certain features of Central PA or Lewisburg that seem to click with people when they do decide to move here? Okay. Like,
I mean, yeah, like, and when I say point in their life, like, and, you know, we have college interns and there's no way I'm gonna convince them to stay here. And I shouldn't, to be honest. Like, those guys should go get the experience in San Francisco or New York or Boston. But, yeah, no, the people that have gone, done that, grown their network, grown their experience, and then are having kids, and, you know, this is a great place to raise a family. The cost of living is low. There are a lot of the benefits that you can get in those other places with culture and entrepreneurial community and things like that. And when they see that, I think, you know, there's a lot of people that want to move here. And the last thing would be, I guess, just connection to capital, because always kind of one ask for us. Like, if you know, it's an expensive thing to build a hardware company in a new category, you know, so marketing is expensive too. So we're always looking for new large investors that would be interested in joining the team.
That video that you showed that was really compelling of everybody sort of playing with it, is that something we could share on social media or?
Yeah, no, that's on, it's on Facebook, like if you go to Facebook and search Play Impossible, or our YouTube. That was off of YouTube, so that's on YouTube. Yeah, definitely share it. Yep. Cool. Thank you.